radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester and Lakin Dew Russell, looking for a little bit more in the way of sun. Unfortunately, it's going to be more of a hazy sun as we go through the remainder of the day, and plenty of clouds around, especially in southern Michigan. And over in the southwest corner, they are looking at a system, a front, a warm front that's working its way into the extreme southwest corner of the Lower Peninsula. Covers pretty much the entire west side of Indiana, the east side of Illinois. That activity is going to be moving very slowly in our direction. The main primary movement of it right now is to the north. So as a result, if there is any precipitation, liquid precipitation is going to be on the west side of the state, right along the Lake Michigan shore, until later on this afternoon and this evening. This evening, as far as you want to get some field work done and some activity done outside and participate maybe in a round of golf or whatever, it looks as though if you're going to be working up until about 7, 8 o'clock tonight, you shouldn't have much of any issue at all as far as moisture goes. And for that matter, as we go through the evening and into the early morning hours tomorrow morning, we're not really going to be looking at much in the way of precipitation. If we pick up a quarter of an inch, that's going to be about it. I think the majority of us are going to be looking at less than that. And some of you, especially in northern Michigan and over in Michigan's thumb, might only pick up about 0.15 of an inch to maybe 0.2 of an inch right there. A low did develop, as we mentioned yesterday, over central Illinois. An upper level low that has finally developed into a low pressure system. But because of the late development, it looks as though there's not a lot of turbulence involved with that particular low. The barometric pressure is not going to drop that much. Matter of fact, our barometric pressure right now is relatively high, which means we are under the influence of a high pressure system. And that high is residing over the Dakotas right now. And it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Matthew, temperature-wise, what do you have on the thermometer right now?
Currently, over at the airport, it's partly sunny at 64. Over in Midland, it's also partly sunny at 64. Here, Radio Center, it's partly sunny at 63. We have east winds at 14, gusting up to 20 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.10, and it's falling.
You've got to go into northern Michigan to see some of the warmer temperatures. We're looking at 70 degrees right now in Grayling, and Pellston is also reporting 70 degrees. Charlevoix is 68. Kinross up in the Upper Peninsula at the Air Force Base, 66. Newberry's at 67. Sault Ste. Marie at 66. Manistee is looking at 69 right now. 68 degrees in Iron Mountain, and Ironwood is looking at 64 degrees. As Matthew said, we're looking at temperatures, right around 64, 65 degrees. We'll inch up a little bit more, but because of the lack of direct sun, we're not going to warm up a whole lot more. Let's say 68, 69 degrees. That's going to be it. Shower activity moving in from the south and the southwest as we go into the late afternoon. Don't be surprised if you get any precipitation before 7. It looks as though the best chance of seeing any measurable amount of rain is going to be at or after sunset, which is at 9:08 this evening. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6 o'clock sharp. So cloudy skies, spotty showers, 53 for a low tonight. And during the day tomorrow, we'll have some clouds around early, but I think we'll see a little bit more in the way of sun, especially as the day goes on, and very little, if any, chance of moisture tomorrow. But it will be a little cooler. We'll have a northwest breeze, 7, 8 miles per hour. No big wind gusts at all. 66 for a high tomorrow, 51 for a low tomorrow night. Low pressure system over the Tennessee Valley is going to be moving into Virginia, so it's not going to affect our weather much at all. Friday, we'll have some sun around. It looks as though the temperatures will warm up once again into that middle 70-degree range. We'll have a west breeze for once, about 10 to 12 miles per hour. We've been working with north, northeast, and northwest winds for the past several days. It does appear as though that is going to be changing just a little bit as we move into Friday. So Friday, partly cloudy skies, but clouds will move in late, and then there will be a very slim chance, and a light precipitation pattern. Spotty shower activity, a weak front will be sliding through late Friday afternoon into the evening hours on Friday. 75 for a high, 50 for a low on Friday night. Then moving into the weekend, partly to mostly sunny to start off Saturday, mostly sun throughout the remainder of the day, upper 60s for a high on Saturday, then low 70s on Sunday, upper 70s on Monday, if not 80 degrees. Tuesday, we will hit 80. We're looking for a high temperature of right around 84, possibly 85 degrees. And we're going to be looking at a little bit more in the way of humidity as we move into the work week next week. For the period to take us through the 10th of June, overall above normal on the temperatures. That will be kicking in second half of the weekend. Precipitation values will be average. Record high in the state is 92. That was set way back in 1931 and tied in 1977. The record low of 32, freezing on this date, February the 28th, was 1949. That's the last time we hit the 32-degree mark. A year ago, our high was 74, our low was 54. We had 3/4 of an inch of rain on this date. Now, for the month of May a year ago, so far, we had about 2.54 inches of rain out at the airport. That compares with this May, 3.76 inches of rain at the airport. And some of you did pick up a little bit more on that. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, what do we have?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
And Lake and Dew Russell will be joining us a little bit, and we'll talk about crop progress here in Michigan as well. But before we get to all of that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency. Remember, they know how your farm operates. They'd like to know a little bit more about you, and then they'll learn how your farm operates, the little bits and pieces that just don't happen on each and every farm, but might be just exclusive to yours. They know that every farm's needs vary like the crops in the fields, but again, they don't know all the specifics, and that's why they want to get to know you one-on-one so they can help you get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. Give them a call today. Stop by and see them. They're located in Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Carroll, the Rummel Insurance Agency. Say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. And Cody, what's going on with the markets today?
Oh, good morning, everybody. Well, we definitely have a little bit of a mixed bag here midweek, mostly driven by some weather, and then we got our corn planting progress and our crop conditions. That definitely seems to be driving what the market here today, and that might be the information that we're leaning on here into the future as well. Everyone's kind of seeing how this crop is going to progress and watching weather throughout the countryside. So but that's really what's driving it. But we got wheat still hanging on to some positives. Corn, beans definitely slid to some negatives here this morning. So definitely a classic mixed bag here.
So my guess is the heart of the country is getting much needed precipitation. Is that what they're telling us?
Yeah, that's kind of the case on that. And then, like I said, we looked at the crop planning progress report and conditions came out yesterday, and that was kind of what was really driving everything. And like I was looking at it here this morning, I think we were, as far as corn's concerned, we were 87% planted this week, which is well above all the averages. In addition to that, we had our first crop condition come out at 68% good to excellent, so that's looking pretty good. And like you said, we're getting some much needed moisture across the corn belt, which is really kind of what the market's looking at because they were definitely needing some of that moisture. And looking at soybeans, kind of the same thing. We were at 76% planted, which is way ahead of last year and the 5-year average. And then in addition to that, crop conditions were a lot higher than expected as well. And with that rain, that's just adding a little more pressure to the beans here this morning. And like I said, we got wheat. That's the only positive here today, and that's kind of more running off of their initial ratings that we saw yesterday for conditions report. Spring wheat came in at 45% good to excellent, which is well below expectations from what the traders were expecting. And then winter wheat as well. Those crop conditions fell back 2 points this week to 50% good to excellent rating, which is still above the average. But anytime you see a pullback here in this part of the growing season, the market's definitely going to reflect that.
So what are we advising producers to do right now, given these prices?
Well, kind of what we've been saying here is always approach of rewarding the market here today and kind of definitely spread your risk out. I know markets have been suppressed here, it seems like, for the last couple of months or so, but definitely look forward. Look for any kind of pricing opportunities that the market may give us. And then in addition to that, look farther out. I know we've been talking to a few of our guys here and doing some 2026 crop. Just because that market or the futures in that region are flirting around that $6 mark, especially on the wheat side of things. That's what a lot of guys have been looking at. So kind of just like I said, be ready to reward the market when it does have a little bit of rally. We're getting into that time frame at end of May, early June, where usually historically the market does a little bit of movement as we're watching these crop conditions and watching this crop closely. So just keep an eye on that and kind of, like I said, diversify your risk throughout the growing season and after harvest.
So right now on the board at Star, what have you got, Cody?
Currently, right now, we got cash wheat. That's up 2 at the moment. 521 on the white, 446 on the red. New crop wheat, that's also up 2. 531 on the white, 446 on the red. Looking at corn, cash corn is down 5 at 395. New crop corn down a penny at 381. And then look over at soybeans. Cash soybeans are down 12 at 981. And new crop soybeans are down 11 at 960.
Cody Harris, thank you so much. You have a great day, okay?
Hey, you guys as well. Thank you.
Will do. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us, not only the grain futures, but some of the other related issues, how we live and how we conduct our business. Doug's report and Cody's report brought to you by the folks at Thumb Bank, working with agriculture since 1895. Thumb Bank and Trust is now in Freeland. They've got 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay Area. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Legendary Tree Care. Remember, no job is too big and no job is too small because they can do anything from tree trimming to tree removal. They've got the equipment to do it. Fully licensed and insured, and they do specialize in those big projects. Find out more by going online to legendarytreecare.com or like them on Facebook. Doug, good morning.
Well, good morning.
How are we looking?
Well, the stock market took off a little bit this morning, but giving it up. At this point, we're down about 1/3% across the board. No big deal. Let's see. Mosaic Fertilizer Company, they hit a new high today. Corteva hit a new high today. GE hit a new high. That's about it on the high list. Abercrombie and Fitch had a good earnings report. Now, that's pretty unusual because they're in retail and they're not Amazon. So they were up about, 15 points this morning. So that's not bad. Let's see, what else is going on? Crude oil's up about $1 and precious metals are giving it back just a little bit. So anyway, here's your numbers. The July corn, 454 1/4, down 5 1/4. December corn, 445 3/4, down 3/4 of a penny. July soybeans, 1050 1/2, down 12. November soybeans, 1039 1/4, down 11 1/2. September wheat is 530, up 1 1/2, and December wheat is 568 3/4, up 1 1/4. The crude oil is 62.05, up $1.16. Heating oil is 209.93, up 2 cents. Gasoline is 208.72, up 1.5 cents. Natural gas is 3.58 and a quarter, down 16 and a quarter cents. For the currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.3817 Canadian. That's up 8 ticks. The dollar buys 145.03 yen. That's up 71 ticks. The euro is at 112.87, down 41 ticks. And the dollar is at 90.90, down 39 ticks. Gold's at $32.9450, down $5.90. Silver's $33.05, down 11.5 cents. Platinum's $1,077.60, down $1.70. And copper's at $466.85, down 7.1 cents.
All right. You have a good one, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. See ya.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. I got to remind you again because they've got some really good products over there from Sure Crop and Nature's. Get that crop going and keep it going and keep it growing. It'll help you increase your yields, and everybody's going to need yields given the way these prices are running right now. Plus, expert advice from Vic Huffer. Remember, they've been serving you since 1983, Freeland Bean and Grain. Coming up, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Scott Duma from Nutrient Ag, and we also have Jerry Samalski from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
Before we get to them, we want to remind you that Farm Service is brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. We'll be right back.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Friday, bonus pricing has been extended at Rifkin Steel.
Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. A lot of conversation as far as crop progress goes. Obviously, the weather has been conducive for a lot of the crops. Lakin, right now, as far as Michigan, now we got some of the national numbers. How are we translating as far as Michigan goes?
Yeah, in Michigan, the crop progress for percent complete this week, corn planted is at 76%, corn emerged is at 41%, soybeans planted is at 67%, soybeans emerged is at 35%, and the winter wheat joining is at 87%. Winter wheat headed is 26%.
So taking a look at those numbers and then the 5-year average, we're pretty much right on the 5-year average, aren't we?
Yes, they're very similar.
Very similar. Now, as far as our soil goes, everybody is talking about how much rain or not enough rain that they got statewide. What are we looking at as far as topsoil goes?
Statewide, topsoil is at 95% of the state is rated as good. And for subsoil, it's at 10%. Moisture would be short.
Okay. So as far as the crop conditions go, I was looking at the sugar beets in particular. Very impressive as far as quality goes of the beets right now.
Yes, the beets are at 99% rated good.
And our corn, not all that bad either.
No, corn's at 89%. And winter wheat's at 95. So it's looking pretty good.
So looking pretty good so far. Lakin, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, as far as what he sees from walking around the fields and from the windshield of his pickup, Scott Dumas with Nutrien Ag joining us right now. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. What are you seeing out in the fields right now, Scott?
What we're seeing is some slow activity, and that's based upon what we've had for our recent temperatures. If we could get more of that sun to pop out and some heat, that would do all the crops a good thing. So right now, guys are wanting to do some post sprays, maybe even put some side dress nitrogen on some corn and beets, but doesn't seem to be they don't seem to be growing very rapidly. So it's best not to put those crops under any more stress than they already are.
Yeah, but you know that I know, and you know it all when it comes to weeds. It doesn't seem to make too much difference what the crops are doing. The weeds always seem to flourish.
The weeds always seem to flourish, but under these current or these most recent weather that we've had conditions, it's best not to put, especially that corn, put it under any additional stress. They can handle some weed pressure up here for a few inches, and we can still control those weeds. So it's best to let the crop develop its cuticle and hit those a little bit later.
Do we have a little bit more yellow corn out there right now, Scott?
Yes, a lot of corn is yellow and needs some sunlight and some heat. So we need more days like that. And looking at the extended forecast, it's coming. It's in the forecast. If we actually see it, will be another thing, but it is in the forecast.
Well, I'll put my stamp of approval on that. All righty. 80 degrees and sun. Okay. Can we handle that?
Yeah, I think everybody would handle that.
Yeah, I think so too. Scott, you take care. Drive careful, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Have a good day.
I will. Scott Dumas with Nutrien Ag. Jerry Samolsky joining us right now from Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, what are you seeing out and about in the landscaping?
Boy, the iris are just getting to bloom. The viburnum are blooming. Lilacs are starting. Again, what a wonderful time of year to just drive around and look at the plants and see everything. And just because they're blooming doesn't mean that you can't plant them, and it's too late already to plant. You can plant all season long, and some people say, well, if I plant early, I don't have to water in the summer. Well, you still have to water in the summer. That first year is critical for getting everybody up and keeping the water going. So if you're planting, let's get it in the ground and go now. But an interesting thing, Terry, right now, if plants are blooming now, that means they probably haven't grown much, and those flower buds were produced last year. So when pruning the shrubs, in order to preserve and get good bloom, that bloom early, you need to prune them after they're done. We're coming up about June 10th is where that starts getting to be, the plants start blooming on their summer growth, because now they've been growing for a while. But right now, plants probably blooming on wood produced last year, and we want to trim them just after they bloom.
Very good, Jerry. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Let's follow up a little bit on that shrub development and talk a little bit more about dairy dew. Chuck Servinsky, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. And Chuck, you got a pretty good product there to really bring a lot of these trees and shrubs, get them going. Oh, I see we lost Chuck. All righty. We'll take a break, and then we'll be right back.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
There are two types of to-dos. To-dos you want to do and to-dos you gotta do. Hopping on your Coyote tractor to plow a little patch of heaven on your land is a wanna do. But flossing before a dentist appointment so they don't suspect that flossing is a never do? That's a gotta do. For all the to-dos you want to do, check out the many models of hardworking Coyote, CS, CX, and CK tractors. Available with up to 72 months financing at 0.99%. For the gotta do's, well, Godspeed. Coyote, we dig dirt. For all of your Coyote needs, stop into CMR Tractors in Millington today or visit them online at cmrtractors.com. CMR Tractors is your local Coyote dealer.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They can be your hometown financial solution. Check them out. Stop by any of their locations or find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Lakin coming up tomorrow morning early. Who's on the virtual tour?
Yes, Dry Bean Plain will soon be in full swing. The MSU Extension Field Crops team will be hosting a virtual breakfast tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., focusing on dry bean management with MSU dry bean specialist Scott Bales, and he'll discuss variety selection, planting dates and conditions, and in-season management.
So to dial up on that, where do we go online?
You can find to register for free the MSU Extension Field Crops website to learn more.
Lakin, thank you.
You're welcome.
You have a great day too, okay? Farm Service been brought to you today by the folks at Krijak's House Family Restaurant. You need food for an event coming up? 989-894-5531. Krijak's House. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we finish off our program with playing the national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.